Okay, it's time to use my selfie light. Take off the glasses so it's effective. Or rather, so it's not putting rings in my eyes, I should say. Now, I want to. I, it's just something I wanted to talk about real quick. It's nothing too crazy, but it's like I wanted to know, from an opinion from you guys, do you have that one game? Because for me, it's a video game that connects so many aspects of your life and personality and development that it pains you to experience it again. It'll make sense as I explain it. So like for me, and I'm gonna it's like it's on the topic. It's on a lot of topics, but like part of it is like ex ex relationship stuff, and I know it gets exhausting. If you know me, you know it's exhausting to hear me talk about it all the time. I can't help it. But for me, there's a game called Life is Strange. It's a don't nod game. It's about a girl named Max and her friend Chloe, and Max is a going to photography school and stuff like that. And I'm not going to get into all of it, but it's a game that encompassed and connected and stretched through so many different points of my life that like it infiltrated many avenues of my life and many traits of my life to where I haven't played the game in. I mean, the last time I played it, I think was 2018 when Before the Storm came out. Maybe 2017, whenever that was. I was still in Michigan, and Sam and I was streaming that together. But the remaster came out for Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm, first and second game. Well, technically first and prequel or whatever. Yeah, so that came out, and I've seen it, and I've had a friend of mine, Spy, ask me if I was gonna play it. I've always had to explain, not really, because the game makes me emotional because of relationship stuff, but there's reasons for it, and there's reasons why beyond that it still is hard for me to play. But the point is, rather, I actually did, because it was on sale. I got the remaster bundle, and I started playing some of it this morning. I didn't even hit the title screen yet. I didn't even hit the title screen, and I got choked up because when I first played Life is Strange, one, I was super into it when it came out. I was like theory crafting. I was completely engrossed in the characters. I did fan art. I have a drawing I did of the main character Max, like a digital piece that it came out okay, but it's like I got fully into it. I downloaded the soundtrack. I was playing through it multiple different ways because it's a choice based game where it's all about the butterfly effect. So you making a decision impacts other elements of the game, and I got super into it when it first came out, and I was like, and they was releasing one episode at a time. There's 5 episodes, and I remember I was like, oh my god, as I was theory crafting, watching YouTube videos and trying to figure out where the story was going, making YouTube video predictions about what the episode 4 was going to be, or what the dark room was, and what happened to Rachel Amber, and yada yada yada. It was all this stuff. Like, I was so into it. And a lot of Life is Strange inspired writing for me. Like, I owe a lot of, not ideas, but like just a lot of inspiration and motivation from Life is Strange for writing like book one and stuff. And hell, I would say, I think Max has traits that Kim and Tanzu adopted, like little traits, or like I was inspired by. I think, no, I wouldn't even say like, because I think it was just coincidental that Max also had like short brown hair, just like Kim. But I drew Kim with short hair originally. It was short blonde hair, but that very quickly turned to short brown hair years before Life is Strange came out. So it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, I feel like the characters kind of relate to each other in a way. And Kim sort of, there was some little character traits that kind of got, uh, like by osmosis, were transferred, kind of thing in my writing. And then Chloe in Life is Strange is definitely a huge inspiration for Phoebe and Devil to the Damned. Devil to the Damned, Phoebe and Chloe are very similar characters, and there's a couple of things in there that I incorporated and was inspired by. Like, Chloe has her beaten down old hunk of shit truck, and Phoebe has her beaten down hunk of shit old, like, RV camper thing that she drives, like her big fucking van that she, it's not a camper, but like the big van she drives around, the Winnebago looking thing. But whatever, anyway, I'm getting away from it. So the thing is, well, when I blink, I can see like 30 little rain dots from and like behind my eyes because I have the ring light right here. So the whole thing is like, I played it and I got really invested in it. So the characters, the story, the anticipation because the episodes are coming out one at a time, kind of thing, kept me hooked, kept me whatever. All that left a big impact on me, and it also, it fulfilled, and it fulfilled a part of me that I, even to this day, am like feeling neglected of, which is that circle of friends kind of thing, you know? And while Max didn't have in the game a big circle of friends, she had Chloe, she had Warren, um, and she had Brooke and all these people that she interacted with during school, and got like relatively along with outside of like the bullies and stuff like that. But like there was just like a social net that she's a part of because it takes place in like school times, and it's the kind of thing where it's like I lack that because, you know, obviously as an adult most of your interactions with people take place with family, siblings. Well, siblings and family are the same thing. Family, maybe one or two decent friends, and then coworkers, right? And then people you see behind the register, your waitress or whatever have you. And into adulthood, you fucking hair, you kind of lose that social net, or at least you get a different one, but the different one feels it's way less intimate, you know, and not intimate in that way, but it's way too, you don't see these people every day, you don't interact with, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's like it's different from a school setting, you know. That like vulnerability of like growing alongside each other and developing alongside each other and changing every year and stuff like that. As much as I hated school, I think that's just because I'm envious and I wish my school life was uh, more more like a TV show, and you know, save for like the bullying and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I just wish it was accompanied by theme song music. You know, it's that kind of thing. It's just not as, they're just so bland and shitty. There's nothing great about it. Um, it's like a retrospect thing, comparative kind of thing. But Life is Strange kind of gave me that little pit in my stomach of like, man, I wish I had that, or I wish I had that childhood best friend, um, that I grew up with, that I reconnect with, and like we get along, and we have this like history to look back on and be like, oh, I remember when we used to play pirates in the backyard, and it's like I have that kind of, but like not really. Like, I don't know. It just it gives me such a longing for that kind of thing. And at the same time, and like that was all like my first experience, and then I played it through like twice. I'm kind of like getting too much on off too in the nitty gritty detail. So I played it like the first two times, and then when Sam came out and lived with me after we started dating, her and I played through it together, or like I watched her as she played through and had like commentary behind her and like let her make choices and like helped her along some ways, like, oh, you got to go that way, don't, oh, hey, stop there, get a photo of that for an achievement or whatever. So it's like we experienced it together. So now not only did it have a nice little personal enjoyment thing for me by itself, now it was something I shared with her. And that game had our song. It was a game, it's a song called Obstacles by Sid Matters, and that was our song. And we got another Our Song by Gorillaz, but Obstacles was ours. Um, and the soundtrack itself was, it branched her music taste more into like a lot of indie alternative rock and introduced a lot of that to me as well. And the soundtrack became a daily listen, you know, because it's not just a video game soundtrack. It was a bunch of actual songs by actual artists, Not that a soundtrack isn't an actual artist, but you know what I mean. It's not just ambient soundtrack, but it did have an ambient soundtrack. It had a huge soundtrack. So I was listening to ambient music. I was listening to music by the different artists, and it just became like this thing where I listened to the music and I would think on multiple. I'd think on the first time I played it. I would think about my experience with the game, but by the end, I would associate the music with my own school life, which was not at all similar, but I would conflate the two, and I would align it with good memories of Sam while they were still happening and unfolding, while we were still sharing that. And then basically, and I'm trying to remember exactly. So, and then what I did was with the music as well. The music was very important to me. I love the music. Was it became part of the playlist that I would let play in the background whenever I was writing. So now, Life is Strange infiltrated my solo personal life, my nostalgic life of school and friendships, my at the time current relationship life, and my book series. So Life is Strange had almost one finger for each part of my life dipped into my soul and just had me in a chokehold. Every time I heard Crosses come on, the song Crosses, I would think about driving down the side of the road with Sam with the windows open. Or every time I hear Obstacles, I think of my relationship and how happy I was. Every time I would hear the menu music, I would think of, school. Every time I would, whatever. So, it's just one of those games that it's just a part of so many different parts of my life, and it was just kind of a happenstance thing. I played it, I enjoyed it, I played it again, I enjoyed it again, listened to the soundtrack, incorporated the soundtrack in my daily life, played it again with my girlfriend at the time. The soundtrack encapsulated many more parts of my life, and then the soundtrack bled over into the book series, and I listen to the soundtrack to this day. I still listen to a lot of the songs because they're genuinely good songs. I haven't listened to the song Obstacles in like 7 years because I can't do it, but all that to say is because of all those things, because I'm a very, very sentimental person, I get choked up and I cry. That you don't look at me and think this guy's gonna cry at like a bug. I get sad with a bug. It's cute, but it's dead. It died. But it does, because when I hear those songs, if they catch me at the right time, they pull a piece from every single one of those life events and all the feelings I tied up into all of those. So, for those reasons, I never had a reason to play the game again anyway, because I got all the achievements multiple times and whatever have you on the 360 and on the Xbox One. And, but now that it was on the remaster, I was like, I'm avoiding that because I don't need to unearth those things unnecessarily, because I know what it's going to do to me. But this morning, or rather the other day I bought it, and this morning I started it, and so many things hit me, and I felt good though. There was a lot of it where I was like, oh. When the music started playing with like that soft piano and the guitar strums and stuff, I got full body chills because all of that stuff was hitting me like a wave, and I maintained composure, but I was just like, because all of a sudden I was thrown back to like 2014. I was thrown back to like 2014 to 2017 and just like relived all of that stuff, all of it, all the emotions, not just relationship stuff, but like everything. And I don't know, it's just interesting how that can happen, because as much as, you try to let go of all that stuff, it's grief, and it's even grief outside of the relationship, but just grieving the past and memories that you'll never get to relive, that you'll never get to change or improve upon, or maybe never experience again, at least not in the same way. You can only experience first love once. It's the first time, I'm okay, I'm just fucking itchy. My facial hair is very sharp. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. I fucking didn't speak properly. I wanted to talk about that because I find it so interesting how just this little unremarkable indie game that did very well for itself um, just had such an impact on me, and easily became one of my favorite games of all time too. For even though the dialogue is kind of dog shit, it's very bad writing. For like character dialogue is kind of bad writing. The voice acting is not always the best, but the story is just so good. I was did the twists and turns I was a part of, and even if they weren't great, I just couldn't help but fall in love with the characters, and feel inspired by them. So anyway, is there a game that does that to you, that has connected to so many parts of your life that you almost don't want to play it again because it kind of hurts to do so? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for listening.